Hey man, you was in there standing there while you were eating. They bumped down on you, they asked you, is you one of these five or is you a rapper? You said a rapper. I got facts about this, man. Hey man, I'm on your ass, man. You know what I'm talking about, man? But why, hold on, man. You ain't stand up. What, you didn't sit down? When it was time to stand on business? So, you let a nigga basically hit you, man. Made you stand up and eat your food. I thought you supposed to sit down and eat. Man, he got the internet food, man. They get a hoe in jail, man. You get a Boston, and I can get the penitentiary kids on the phone, nigga.
I thought I knew everything about Memphis rap, but this story proves otherwise eyes. People often treat rappers like they're untouchable, like nothing can happen to them. But behind prison walls, it's a completely different reality. Nobody is protected. Imagine this. Pooh Shiesty, the same artist who had the whole country shouting back in blood with Lil Durk, now facing serious pressure inside federal prison. Rumors began circulating that he was being tested by other inmates. Question about whether he was really about that life or just a rapper. There were even claims that he was being treated differently, with people trying to challenge his reputation police garlight. But here's where things take a twist. A 32-year prison veteran reportedly went live to defend Pooh Shiesty's name, putting his own credibility on the line. According to him, not everything being said online was true, and the reality behind prison walls might be very different from the rumors spreading across social media. This situation quickly turned into a debate about what's real and what's exaggerated, especially when it comes to artists and their image. At one point, Pooh Shiesty was at the top of the rap game. Millions of streams, major success, and the full support of Memphis Collision. But everything changed in 2021 when federal charges hit. By January 2022, he accepted a plea deal, pleading guilty to conspiracy related to firearms in connection with violent and drug trafficking crimes. While prosecutors were pushing for a 10-year sentence, his legal team managed to get reduced to 63 months. From that moment on, the spotlight shifted from music success to what really happened behind bars.
Rapper Pooh Shiesty is facing prison time after pleading guilty to a gun charge in Miami federal court. The case against Montrell Williams Jr. stems from 3 shootings during the past 2 years, 2 of them happening right here in South.
This wasn't county jail. This was federal prison. A whole different level eyes. In federal prison, your reputation doesn't matter if you can't back it up. There are strict rules, politics, and different groups, gangs, regional cliques, and unaffiliated inmates. So when someone high profile like Pooh Shiesty walks in, everyone is watching to see where he fits. But here's where things started getting wild. Rumors began spreading that Shiesty wasn't moving the way his music portrayed him. Stories surfaced online claiming he was facing pressure behind bars, police garlight. Some individuals from Memphis even went on social media, saying they knew what was really going on inside. One person made serious allegations, claiming that Shiesty was being extorted and disrespected, forced to stand while eating and treated differently by other inmates. The same source also claimed that when Shiesty was questioned about whether he was really about that life or just a rapper, he allegedly chose to present himself as an artist rather than someone involved in street activity. If true, that kind of claim could damage any rapper's image, especially one built on street credibility. The rumors didn't stop there. Allegations continued, suggesting he was being moved around, following orders, and even having to perform or freestyle for other inmates just to stay on good terms. Imagine that, an artist with millions of streams now having to rap behind bars just to get by. As time went on, these stories kept spreading. Memphis blogs picked them up, social media amplified them, and his reputation began taking hits, while he had limited ability to respond from inside. Some even claimed he was being labeled negatively by other inmates, which, for a street rapper, could be extremely damaging. But there's another side people don't talk about enough. The money factor money bag. Pooh Shiesty entered prison as a successful platinum-selling artist. And in federal prison, money can change everything. While most inmates rely on basic prison resources, someone with financial backing can have a very different experience, even within the same walls. We're talking about a federal commissary account that never runs dry money bag. In federal prison, People on the outside can send money to your account, and Pooh Shiesty had a full support system behind him, from his label to his management team and loyal fans. His account was never empty. With that kind of money, life inside looks very different. We're talking stacks of ramen, tuna packs, honey buns, chips, and protein bars. Inmates can build full meals from commissary items that would honestly surprise you steaming bowl. After his release, Shiesty even confirmed in interviews that he was eating real steaks behind bars. Not metaphorical, actual meat. And when you understand prison dynamics, it makes sense. With money, you can pay other inmates to cook, trade for better food, and essentially run your own small system inside. He was never going hungry, not even close. But it goes deeper than just food. In federal prison, money buys comfort and peace of mind. You can afford better hygiene products, better clothing within regulations, and overall better living conditions. When you have platinum-level income while others struggle, it completely changes your position inside. However, that kind of money can also make you a target warning. When other inmates know someone has consistent funds coming in, it can lead to pressure or extortion attempts. So whether Shiesty faced that kind of situation becomes a more complicated question. Then comes one of the most sensitive topics, protective custody, PC. In prison culture, PC carries a heavy stigma. It means being separated from the general population, either by choice or for safety reasons. While it sounds reasonable on paper, inside prison culture it can damage a person's reputation. Rumors began circulating that Shiesty may have been placed in or around protective custody at some point. But for high-profile individuals, this isn't always their decision. Prison authorities often step in to protect well-known inmates due to safety risks. From the system's perspective, if a famous artist gets harmed, it becomes a national issue. So sometimes placement decisions are made regardless of what the inmate wants. Still, the streets don't see it that way. In that world, being in PC is often viewed negatively, and that narrative started attaching itself to Shiesty while he was still locked up, unable to respond. Memphis blogs and social media amplified the rumors, mixing them with other allegations. What makes it more confusing is that accounts from people claiming to be in the same facility conflicted. Some said he was in PC the entire time, while others claimed they saw him moving normally in general population. That contradiction alone raises questions about what's true and what isn't thinking face. Then the story took a major turn. As the rumors gained traction, a prison OG, someone who had reportedly spent over 30 years behind bars, went live to defend Pooh Shiesty. This wasn't just anyone. This was someone with deep credibility inside that world. According to him, the stories about Shiesty being extorted or pressured were false. He claimed Shiesty stayed in his lane, minded his business, and didn't try to prove anything to anyone. Coming from someone with that level of experience, that kind of support carries real weight. After his release, Shiesty also spoke about his time inside. He described cooking regularly and eating well, not just surviving, but maintaining a certain standard even behind bars. Real steaks, real meals, not just basic prison food. And that adds another layer to the story. What people see online isn't always the full picture. When the interviewer tried to clarify what he meant, Pooh Shiesty made it clear he wasn't talking about eating luxury meals every day, but he was eating better than most inmates. That alone suggests someone was looking out for him, or that he had enough respect and resources to live comfortably. Considering the money on his books, that actually makes perfect sense. He also mentioned that his daily routine focused heavily on writing music, while many other inmates were caught up in prison politics. Instead of getting involved, he stayed focused, stacking verses and planning his comeback. That mindset shows exactly where his priorities were. At one point, he even called into a major podcast from prison, sharing game and speaking on his experiences. That kind of access isn't normal. It requires resources, connections, and a certain level of freedom within the system. A prison OG who vouched for him explained it best. In federal prison, if you're moving wrong, people will know. The fact that a respected lifer was willing to put his name behind Pooh Shiesty says a lot about what really happened. However, the Memphis streets weren't done talking. The same person making allegations doubled down, insisting Shiesty was getting punked. He tried to build credibility by claiming he had money before rap, had traveled extensively, and had done multiple prison bids, positioning himself as someone who could recognize the real from fake. But this brings up a bigger point. What is it actually like being a celebrity in federal prison? When you're famous, your name arrives before you do. Guards know you. Inmates know you. Administration knows you. That creates a unique situation where everyone wants something from you. Some inmates want to befriend you for potential benefits. Others want to test you to challenge your reputation. Some genuinely respect your music. And others may try to extort you because they know you have money and outside connections. Now imagine dealing with all that every single day while trying to stay mentally strong, avoid trouble, and complete your sentence without issues. That's the reality Shiesty walked into. The celebrity tax in prison is real. Everyone expects something, and you have to quickly figure out who's genuine and who's not. There's also the visitation factor. While regular inmates might rarely get visitors, a well-known artist may receive visits from lawyers, managers, label executives, and family. That level of attention doesn't go unnoticed. It can create both respect and resentment. Then there's the phone situation. Phone access is limited and expensive in federal prison, but with money on your books, you can stay connected. Shiesty was reportedly in regular contact with his team, staying updated on the music industry, something most inmates can't do. So now we're left with two completely different narratives. On one side, there are claims that he was being pressured and disrespected. On the other, a respected prison veteran insists those stories are false and that he carried himself properly. Here's what we actually know. He completed his sentence without any major incidents making headlines. If serious issues had occurred, especially involving a high-profile inmate, they likely would have surfaced through reports or legal records. The claims about him being forced to perform for protection also don't align with his own statements. He consistently said he focused on music and stayed out of trouble. Looking deeper, there's also a psychological angle. Whenever a successful rapper goes to prison, there are often people who try to tear down their image. It's part of the culture. If someone can't reach that level of success, sometimes they try to discredit those who did. The individual making these claims seemed personally invested in damaging Shiesty's reputation, repeatedly emphasizing his own background to build authority. Meanwhile, the OG defending him had nothing to gain. Someone serving a long sentence isn't chasing clout or online attention. When a person like that speaks, it usually carries weight. Another key detail. When Pooh Shiesty came home, he quickly returned to the spotlight, dropping music, going live, and reconnecting with fans. If he had been truly broken down by his experience, that kind of comeback would be much harder. He also didn't go on a media run trying to prove how tough he was. Many artists do that to rebuild their image. Instead, he kept most of his prison experience private, which actually shows confidence. This whole situation highlights something bigger in hip-hop culture. Whenever a young, successful rapper gets locked up, rumors start spreading. Stories get exaggerated or completely fabricated while they can't defend themselves. In competitive scenes like Memphis rap, that effect is even stronger. Success naturally creates targets. And realistically, federal prison operates differently than people think. Inmates serving serious time are usually focused on their own situations. The idea that someone would force a rapper to perform for protection doesn't fully align with how things typically work. If anything, real extortion would involve money or outside connections, not performances. What's more likely is that Pooh Shiesty did exactly what the prison OG described. He minded his business, stayed in his lane, and focused on his music. That's actually the smartest way to do federal time, especially for someone young with everything to lose. The fact that multiple people vouched for his character in prison, while most of the allegations came from individuals who seemed personally invested in tearing him down, says a lot about what the real story probably is. Now that Pooh Shiesty is home and making moves again, his actions speak louder than any rumors. He earned early release through time served and good behavior. The government originally pushed for 10 years. He served around 3. That's a fact. You don't earn good behavior credits by causing problems or getting caught up in situations inside. But here's where things take another turn. After his release in October 2025, he was placed in a residential reentry facility in Dallas as part of supervised release, a halfway house situation with strict restrictions. Not long after, he reportedly faced another arrest tied to possible supervised release violations. And then in early 2026, the FBI reportedly raided a family home in Memphis. When federal agents show up like that, it's serious. Whether this is connected to his rearrest or a separate investigation is still unclear, but the pattern raises questions. Here's the bigger picture. Pooh Shiesty is only 25 years old. He came up from one of the toughest environments and reached platinum success before most people even figure out their path in life. At the same time, the system doesn't seem to be done with him, whether that's because of continued street ties or simply because fame puts a spotlight on everything you do. We can't say for sure. It's probably a mix of both. Federal supervised release is extremely strict. It controls where you go, who you associate with, and even your online presence. For a young rapper trying to rebuild a career while staying within those limits, it's a constant challenge. One mistake, and you're back behind bars. Prison is designed to break people mentally and emotionally. The fact that he came out still creative, still connected to his fans, and still making moves suggests he handled his time the right way. But surviving prison and surviving the outside world are two completely different battles. The prison OG who vouched for him said it best. Real ones survive and the fake ones don't. The fact that Shiesty came home with his sanity and career still intact speaks volumes. At the end of the day, these kinds of prison rumors happen to almost every rapper who gets locked up. It's part of the culture. What really matters is what happens after release. And so far, Pooh Shiesty has responded by making music, reconnecting with fans, and moving like someone who learned from the experience, not someone who was broken by it. But the post-prison chapter might be the hardest one yet. So when people ask whether those prison stories are true, look at the facts. He ate well because he had resources. He stayed out of trouble because he moved smart. He was vouched for by someone with nothing to gain. And he came home early because of good behavior. Meanwhile, most of the allegations came from people with something to prove and nothing to verify. Still, the real challenge is happening right now. Surviving prison is one thing. Staying free and focused on the outside is another. And right now, Pooh Shiesty is fighting that second battle in real time. The Memphis rap scene needs him. His journey, from platinum success to prison and back, is exactly the kind of real-life story his music represents. Whether this next chapter ends in redemption or setbacks, we're all watching eyes. That's the full story. What really happened in prison, the rumors, the reality, and what came after. Let me know what you think. Do you believe the allegations or the people who vouch for him? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more real stories like this.